Hello friends, welcome back to my channel where we make pretty costumes and things. We have made it to the final video in the What We Do in the Shadows series. We're going to finish Nadja and then have a cute little reveal of both Nadja and Nandor at the end of this video. Don't forget, I get to show off my transforming studio so I can show you my sewing studio by day, photography and filmmaking studio by night. This is my first video using my brand new cutting table and I'm just so excited, so let's get right into it. Okay, so today I'm going to be using Truly Victorian pattern 496. I will be making this like jacket for my Nadja costume. This is the final piece, which is really exciting. I also got a few accessories, so she's gonna be looking real good. I will be using this velvet. It's called like micro velvet from Fabric Wholesale Direct as the main fabric, and then I'm gonna line it with this black cotton. I've mentioned in a few videos that I bought an entire 30-yard bolt of this black cotton. That's why I keep lining things with it, is because I was able to get it at wholesale price and I have a lot of it, so it makes sense to just use it because I work with a lot of black. Now, I do know that working with black velvet visually is a little hard, so I'm gonna do my best with the camera. I'm gonna play around with angles, so we're gonna do the best we can. It will probably be difficult for you to see my thread in a lot of this, so just a little disclaimer, I do apologize for that. Let's get right into making this. I'm gonna try to make it in a few days, so I guess we have to start with printing the pattern. Truly Victorian recently made most of their patterns digital, which means I don't have to wait a few days to purchase it, and it saves me a few dollars, which is really nice. And then it also means that I can look at the instructions on my computer and not have to print out 10 pages of instructions. I can just go to my computer, which is awesome. So let's go. All right, so all of my pieces are cut out and now I'm gonna cut them out onto a black cotton and make a mock-up. I'm not gonna show you the mock-up process because I think it's pretty straightforward, unless I like have some kind of issue where like I make the sleeve wrong or something. But yeah, so I'll hopefully talk to you when I get to do a mock-up. Oh my gosh, y'all, look at me and my vampy sleeve. Oh, I'm obsessed. I'm upset. I need every color of this. I love this jacket. Oh my god. Obviously this is just cotton. And then what I will likely do when I, make the final form is tack these down. I'll top stitch and tack them down. I think what I'm gonna do for the sleeves, because you're not supposed to flatline them according to the instructions. And this one is like, this is cotton and velvet will like collapse because it's gonna be a little heavier. So I'm gonna flatline my velvet with crinoline. I have so much crinoline left over from Glinda. I'm just gonna do it, and I want my sleeves standing up all day long. Oh my goodness. I keep fussing with this one. I know I placed the arm wrong on this one. Yeah, but I placed the arm right on this one. This is why we mark our patterns. I like the little flare. It's got the little like the thingy things. Look at that. Look at this cute little fluff. Okay, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I can't wait. Oh my god. I'm gonna like cry. So tomorrow we'll rip this all apart. I'm gonna use it as flat lining for the velvet, except the sleeves actually will just turn into the lining. So I won't even take them apart. Oh my god, I won't even have to make sleeves. Oh, brilliant. So, anyway. Okay, so we finished the mock-up yesterday and now we are going to dive right into construction. The first thing that we're going to do today is cut out all of the velvet. This is to make sure that the grain lines are going in the correct direction for each individual piece, not just like each mirrored piece, but like every single piece. So that's going to be quite a tedious task. And then I actually just want to go ahead and get the sleeves going, since I am basically going to take the sleeves off the mock-up and and use the mock-up as the lining and then the sleeves as the lining. I will work on the velvet sleeve, the velvet like fashion layer of the sleeve, and then I will sew the lining layer to the fashion layer and get that all sewn up and like clean and exactly how we want it to look, and then set those aside and start working on the base. So I don't know how much we're gonna get done today. I do have to do quite a bit of flat lining, but because it's velvet and because of the just nature of velvet in general, I might have to hand baste a lot of things, especially when we get to the crinoline for the sleeves. So let's just take things one step at a time. I am very excited. Let's sew. Okay, so I've cut out 2 pieces of crinoline. It looks like tulle. It's not tulle. It is thicker and a little bit stronger and a little bit stiffer than tulle, but it's called crinoline. I used it in my Glinda petticoat video. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I have my velvet here. I don't remember which side this one is. Okay, so I have my velvet and I'm going to place this piece. They're gonna get flatlined together. Okay, so I have both sleeves done. All they need to do is be gathered and attached to the bodice. Obviously, we kept the lining the way it is, so what I'm gonna do when we start tomorrow is actually go in and clip the seams where I need to clip them and press everything the way I need to press it, and then get boning put into the lining. Then once I've done that, I can flatline all of the pieces of the velvet and sew them up, and then it's just gonna be like lining to velvet, add sleeves, magic. Sound good? I think that makes sense. That's where we're at. All right, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Oh yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. All right, friends, so we're back. I have already cut out.
Casey, here is your reminder. Check studio plants.
Now you know my secrets. I can't hide anything from you guys. Okay, so now I've already cut out the cotton fabric for the flat lining of the velvet pieces. So now we're just gonna baste them together. I'm gonna start with the little thing at the front. I'm gonna baste that and then sew that. I just need an easy win, let's be real. And then I'm gonna move on to the back pieces. And what my method of madness for this is gonna be is to baste one back piece, baste the next back piece, sew that, and then do the same with the sides. And so basically every time I finish a piece, I will add it to the jacket until we have a full layer. And then once we have the full layer, we'll move on to boning. I know I said yesterday I was gonna do boning and then this, but I really am scared of how long the hand sewing is gonna take. Okay, so let's get to basting this velvet, sewing it together, and then rinse and repeat. Okie dokie, so I got all of the hand basting done, everything flatlined, everything put together for the velvet layer. This velvet is slowly but surely shedding everywhere in my studio, so I can't wait to not be working with it. I feel like it's like stuck in the back of my throat. I don't know if anyone else gets that way. I get that way with fur too, like faux fur. But anyway, I am done with all of that. So tomorrow we will add the boning to the lining, and then I will put the lining with the outer, add the sleeves, and then go to Joann's, get buttons, and do the buttons. Not done! Another day where I'm like, I'm gonna finish this costume today. Let's find out how many times I do this in a year, and then like maybe I'll build in that extra day. Maybe by 23 I'll be at the point where I can build in that extra day of like wiggle room. Anyway, so that's where we're at. I don't have any feelings at all, like at all. I'm just very done working with this velvet. All right, so I'm back at it. Today we're gonna finish this jacket, whether it wants to be finished or not. I guess the first thing to do is to just jump right into boning. I also forgot to mention that I should probably press the seams on this velvet. And what I mean by that is I'm gonna have to go in and rip out my basting stitches and then use steam to press the areas open. I also need to clip them. I will show that a little bit more, but the reason that you can't actually press velvet is because as soon as you actually add the heat and pressure of the iron to your velvet, it will actually crush the fibers. So if you're trying to emboss velvet, that's a thing you can do. For the most part, you don't really want to add the heat and pressure. You can purchase a velvet board or like a board specifically for pressing velvet. It's got all these little pins in it. However, I think the smallest size was like 60 or 70 bucks. So personally for me, and I say this every time I work with velvet, I don't work with velvet that often, so it's not worth it to me. There's probably gonna become a point where it is worth it and I will purchase one. If I remake my Morticia Addams dress, which is something I would really love to do, I made it pre like me making content on YouTube days, and it's a dress that I get a lot of questions on. So if you are interested in me making a new one for the purpose of teaching you all how I did it, please sound off in the comments below so that I can decide if that's what we will do for 2023, because we already know what we're making for Halloween. You don't yet. I do. I've already bought material for it. But anyway, I could also probably, that would be a really fun, like, what is it that they do? Like Valentine's, like Hallowtines or Halloween? Maybe we do a Halloween costume. I feel like Morticia would be a really good Halloween costume because like there's the imagery with the rose. Anyway, we just got off on a huge tangent. I'm so sorry. Sound off in the comments below. Let me know if remaking Morticia, it would probably just be one video, but it would take me like about 3 weeks to do the whole process. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you would like me to remake Morticia for Halloween. And if we do that, I will buy a velvet board so we can press our seams. That's how we got here. So back to the velvet board and just pressing seams in general. We're gonna do that first before we start adding boning. The list of things to do is pretty short, but they're all slightly time consuming. So that's a thing. Also, I like this framing a lot. I'm telling you that to remind myself that when I set up future videos. I really like this, like kind of like my table with my cute little stand. You can see the pretty embroidery machine that I don't use as often as I should. But yeah, I like this area. This makes me, it feels kind of cozy because my studio is pretty nice and large. It feels like the perfect level of cozy without feeling like cramped. Anyway, I'm just really chatty today. Let's get going. Let's make stuff. Okay, this is weird, but I forgot to pick up the camera. I was just so like focused, like tunnel focused, that I just didn't even pick up the camera. So I'm going to show you what I've done. It's 3 o'clock. I was hoping to be done by 2. I'm not quite done. I have one hand sewing task left before we can get buttons and all that other jazz. So let me show you what I did and try to explain the best I can. Okay, so I think the last thing you saw was some pins with the lining to the velvet. So like I pinned the lining layer to the velvet layer, right sides together. Then I stitched that all down, and then I top stitched it because of the way that it sits in the front. I'm going to be really honest. This to me like looks really bad, but I honestly don't know how to make it look better. And with time just literally running out, it's not something I'm going to be able to do for this weekend, like, or for Dragon Con. So we're just going to accept that I have these not so cute ripples. Anyway, so then the next thing I did was attach the sleeves. I have one here that you can see that's all raw and stuff. Basically, I pinned where the marking was. I was going to mark it and then I just gave up. So I pinned the marking on the sleeve to the marking on the layers. And then I I put a pin in it to mark it. And then I pinned those two together. And then I worked my way around until we got to all of the gathering. I gathered, I stitched. Now comes over here. This is literally our last task. So this is the lining layer, and this is only attached to the velvet layer. So here's our lining layer. I know it's a little confusing because I have an inner lining and then the lining, but basically I then went ahead and folded it over like so and pinned it, and I'm going to basically slip stitch this down and do the same on that. Once I'm done, I can at least put it on and like take a look. I'm very worried because I think that I lost about a ½ an inch on each side of the front. So the way I might fix that is make a wider one of these. This is that little faux vest piece that I add all the buttons to, or I can put the buttons like way further out, and that way it'll make up for it. We're going to figure that out as I do I got to finish this and then I'll do the fitting. So I got to get this done and then we can worry about a fitting and the buttons and stuff. That's good enough. Velvet will velvet will, what's the word? How do I say this properly without?
This is the last victim of Nadja.
You will be a good dog. You will stay out of our shot. And when I snap my finger, you will just leave the room entirely.
Oh my God, look at them. Oh.
Guillermo! Guillermo! There you are, Guillermo. There you are.
Do you see these sleeves? Do you see them? Like, do you understand the power that I hold in these sleeves? Do you? Because, like, I don't think you do.
Guillermo! I told you 1,000 times to clean up after us! What is this? What is this? Ah!